Hey guys, I'm Sage Valentine and I'm back here to review another episode of CBS's Big Brother, Season 20, Episode number 9. So, let's get back to it. So, when I turned on the feeds, you will never guess what I saw. I saw Bailey sitting on Angela's back, braiding her hair. My jaw dropped. Like, what is going on? And then it clicked in my head as I continued watching that the house seemed a little bit mellow at the moment. And at one point, Caitlyn was taking the credit for the mellowness because she got rid of the bad energy. Really, I think that the house guests just needed a little bit of a mellow out, chill out, hang out type time before they had to jump right back into the next phase of this game. But keep in mind that divide between Faute and level 6 still remains. Scottie was talking to Tyler and he said, you know what, I'm thinking about the vote involving Swaggy C's eviction, and 8 people voted him out, including himself, and 4 people voted to keep him. It's time that we kind of tip the scales or even it out, meaning that he wanted to nominate a couple members of level 6. You know, Tyler didn't like that idea. Not at all. So Rockstar, Haley, Face Off, Bailey, and Sam are safe. That's what Scottie basically told Face Off. Now this particular set of notes was written after Winston and Brett were revealed as the nominees. Winston was highly upset that he and Brett were nominated, but he seemed angrier that he was nominated for a second time within a week. I get the feeling that Brett never realized, fathomed, whatever you want to call it, that he was even going to be nominated at all. I question whether he even watched Big Brother because there have been a lot of people who've been nominated back to back to back to back. If memory serves, I remember Frank. Frank was nominated, 4 times back to back to back to back? He just seemed to kind of go with the flow, if memory serves. Scottie was just like, listen, whoever wins the veto competition, if they decide to use that veto, Scottie said that he's going to take the veto holder's friend and put them in the place of the person that they decide to save. Savage. Scottie did not come to play with those bros. Nope. Scottie is on this whole thing like, I'm going to hit the ground running, and if they take me out, fine, but I'm going to make a big move, and I'm not going to be scared, and I respect him for this move because for the past few seasons, I could say for the past 6 or 7 seasons, you've had people who were too afraid to take out big targets in the beginning. They usually wait till the middle, towards the second half of the actual game to try to get those people out, and they can never get them out. So I respect Scottie for making a move like this. Brett and Winston are starting to wonder whether or not Tyler has in his possession one of the power app powers. We know that he does. So at this point in the game, Bailey is in a very good position. It seems like people are talking to her again, and they really don't see her as a threat. Scottie and Rockstar are well aware of what's happening in this house, and during the conversation that they were having, it seemed like they were looking at Winston as a mastermind, and they think that Brett might be throwing competitions. I think so as well, but then again, I think that quite a few other players are throwing comps as well. Somehow, someone, and that someone being Tyler, Brett, probably Winston, convinced Caitlyn that there are no sides of the house. On a side note, Caitlyn as a player, she's coming across as very, very gullible. Her gullibleness goes beyond the whole idea to kick Swaggy C out that had nothing to do with the game at all, but had to do with some personal issue that she had from years ago outside of the game. And she really listened to the he said, she said. No, she is really hypnotized by Brett, by Winston, and by Tyler. So she's listening mostly to Tyler, but she's also listening to the other guys as well. And that is definitely going to be her downfall in this game, in my opinion. So, Scottie and Rockstar were talking, and Caitlyn, I think she came in, and she was kind of under this impression, which is why she pushed for Swaggy to go out as well, was that once Swaggy left the house, then they, meaning Falte, could work with Brett and Tyler. Now, we all know damn well that that is not going to happen in this game, because Tyler likes being a mastermind, and Brett and the rest of level 6 are determined to get rid of the rest of Falte. So, apparently, Brett worked every woman in the house, meaning he tried to snuggle up to them and manipulate them, and it just didn't work on the women. And I'm just looking at this like, wow, that's shady. Casey is close to Rachel and Angela, which is why she's in level 6. A lot of people nicknamed Casey IKEA Furniture because they don't see what she does. And I remember when I was on Tumblr a couple weeks back before the show started, and people were looking at Casey like she was going to be this amazing kick-ass take names type player, and really all she's done in the past couple weeks is just kind of float, and it's been a big disappointment to a lot of people. Me personally, I said it in the beginning and I'll say it again, I had to gauge, and I'm still gauging these players to see how they are in this game. So those first few interviews did not faze me at all. But I'm going to get back to my live feed notes and then continue on this review. But let me know what you think about what I just said about Casey and how you feel about Casey. Let me know and leave me some comments below. So, Tyler is the mastermind of the house, not Brett. But for some reason, Rockstar and Scottie believe that Brett is the mastermind. Brett tried to throw Haley and Rockstar under the bus to Scottie. After Swaggy left, the game reset according to Caitlyn and Brett. Where? Where did the game reset? If anything, after Swaggy left, all hell seemed to break loose. But you know what? Whatever helps Caitlyn get through the day, because again, she comes off as a very gullible, very naive player. And when she goes home and she sits down and she watches these episodes, she is going to be very disappointed in herself and how she allowed herself to be manipulated by these guys. So at this point, they don't know who got that final power app. We know it's Bailey. Caitlyn says that Winston is immature about approaching Scottie, meaning how he threatened him. Yes, but that's the pot calling the kettle black, considering how she went about her whole HOH reign and nominating Swaggy and acting like queen and all this other stuff. But anyways, there are 3 powers currently in the house, i.e. 3 power app winners, and not one person in the house knows who they are all yet. Notice how I said all, because some people know that Sam has the power. Then I found out later on that Bailey told Faisal that she had a power. The only person keeping mum about the power is Tyler, and I feel like Tyler is the smartest in doing that, because he can keep his cards close to his chest and nobody will know anything and they won't look at him as a threat. On a side note, that's how I feel when house guests win things, or if they are picked to be the shady person in the house. I feel like they need to keep it to themselves, because 9 out of 10 times it ends up coming back and biting them in the butt, especially if someone accidentally blabs. They do something that's kind of reminiscent of what Sam did or was shown to have done in episode 9, where she told Scottie that Winston saved her, and Scottie thought that Winston had saved Steve in the first week. You get where I'm going with that. So Caitlyn wants to win the veto, and I'm just like, please, God, no. And on a spoiler note, I'm so glad she didn't win the veto, because God knows what she would have done or who she would have saved. Winston said that Sam was playing a good game. I thought so as well. And then she started talking about saving Winston and Brett, or Brett, with her power app, and I'm just looking at that whole scenario like that's a terrible idea, because what if it backfires and she gets voted out the house, or it works and somehow she's able to stay, and then people realize that she used her power because Tyler runs and tells somebody, and then there's a huge target on her back. See, it's not a good idea. So basically, Bailey said that they have to make sure that Scottie is solid with his nominations, meaning he won't do something shady and decide to nominate somebody from Falte, but we know that he wants to get rid of a member of level 6, but they don't know that, and only Faisal knows that Bailey has the power that she has. And she says that she wanted to wait until there was 8 people left in the house so she could use her power, but that is also the mark where her power basically runs out. She has that one last time to use it. JC possibly wants to work with Bailey because no one really wants to talk game with her. Little does he know that everybody in the house has been talking to Bailey now that Swaggy was voted out. They really, and by they I mean Falte, can't tell Rockstar everything because Rockstar kind of tells a little bit too much to people. Oh, and before I forget, Winston said that he wanted to grab Scottie by the throat and slam him against the wall, like he used to do to the nerdy kids in high school. That is extremely aggressive, and the fact that Big Brother allowed him to make a threat like that is a mess. And I hope that they do show him saying that in episode 10 so you can see what I'm talking about. But if not, there are some videos circulating online. Honestly, Winston has been paranoid ever since they got in the house. At first, it was the paranoia over whether or not Bailey and Swaggy were in Showmance. Now that he's been nominated, it's like his paranoia level went all the way up. So, if you want to know what I'm talking about, Google Winston's paranoia, paranoid Winston, whatever, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Or read through social media and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Sam is no fool. She says that she won't let anyone have any control over her. Well, that's what she said, and then she started talking about saving Winston and Brett with her power, and I'm just kind of like, didn't you just say that you're not a fool and you won't let people have power over you? I was completely confused. She said that she's not saving anyone other than herself. So on Twitter, I literally had to mute a conversation between myself and these two Brett and Winston fans because those two girls, they just would not listen to reason. And what I mean is that they were saying that Winston and Brett were going to make it through this week. They were going to save themselves. And I'm just like, those two have to win a competition. Maybe Brett has a chance of winning a competition, but Winston has not won one competition, and I don't think that he's throwing any. I think he's literally just not that great at comps. I was like, those two need to save themselves, and they went on this whole rant about level 6 is going to save them, Sam's going to do this, blah, blah, blah. I had to mute them because it became a complete headache. Sometimes I talk to people on social media, and then sometimes they just become a gigantic headache. Because it's okay for them to spat out their opinion, but once you give your opinion about their fave, then it becomes a big, huge mess. So Rachel basically wants to vote the way Scottie wants everyone to vote. Casey actually needs to win a competition. Hopefully I'm right and she's throwing these comps. I hope she's really not bad at these competitions. And Tyler's not going to save Winston and Brett by putting a target on himself. It's just not going to happen. Keep in mind, when Winston was talking about grabbing Scottie by the throat and slamming him against the wall, he was talking to Brett. But while Winston was talking to Scottie, he basically threatened Scottie and said that he would start a rumor that Scottie flipped twice. But the thing is, Scottie only flipped one time. And I'll explain why he flipped before the end of this video. I know one reason why he flipped. Caitlyn was the first person to flip, yet her name does not come up in this conversation at all. And Scottie knows, if I remember correctly, that Caitlyn flipped. And I hope that that information is revealed very, very, very soon. So Winston's not taking his nomination very well. All right, as far as episode 9 is concerned, Scottie's the HOH. He said he wanted to flip his vote to cause paranoia because no one would even fathom that he would flip, but it seems like some people are putting 2 and 2 together. Winston said that Scottie is a wild card. In other words, he's afraid of what Scottie's going to do as HOH. Rachel said that Scottie's a floater. She's terrified of his HOH, and he's literally in the center of the house. No, he really isn't, because he's more leaning towards Faute. But Scottie is another player in this game that's in a very good position because, yes, he's working with Faute, but this HOH is showing how his mind works and how he can think fast and how he's aware of what is going on. To a certain extent, he is one of the few house guests right now that's aware of a lot more things than we think he is. Haley knows that Scottie flipped and she's talking to Rockstar, but she and Rockstar agreed not to talk about it with anyone. And then Rockstar ended up having a conversation with Faisal and basically bringing the idea of Scottie flipping to him, and Faisal felt some type of way, almost as though he believed that one of them flipped. And by one of them, I mean like himself, Rockstar, or Haley. So he was not trying to hear anything really about that subject, and he felt like somebody was lying to his face regarding the vote. And Rockstar's like, well, what if Scottie is a mastermind? And he is a mastermind. And at this moment, Faisal does not trust Haley. So Rockstar, Faisal, and Haley are talking, and they think that Scottie is lying, and Rockstar thinks that Scottie isn't even a virgin. It could be possible. If you watch Big Brother all these years, you know that people lie about a lot of things once they're in the Big Brother house to get to the end. Faisal thinks that Caitlyn knows that Scottie flipped when he's having a conversation with Caitlyn, because it's something that she said, if I remember correctly. It had to do with her saying something about Scottie's vote, and he's looking at her like, how do you know that Scottie voted the way that he voted? Faisal really doesn't know who to trust other than Bailey. So we get a whole scene all about Winston and Brett's little bromance. Then Scottie wants to take a shot at the bros, and to do so, he decides to go around and ask people 2 questions. Number 1, did they vote to keep Steve? Number 2, who are they scared of in the house? And he will use those answers to determine who he should nominate. Well, Scottie brings this idea to Tyler and tells him he wants to nominate a level 6er. Tyler tried to divert him, and it didn't work. Sorry, Tyler. This is not your HOH this week to manipulate. Sam told Scottie that Winston voted to keep her, and Swaggy did not, which is why she voted out Swaggy. Scottie says that this proves that Winston is a liar because Winston told him that he voted to keep Steve. Well, Scottie reveals that to Sam. Sam then went to Winston and told Winston that she told Scottie that Winston saved her and not Steve. Winston is not happy. He starts freaking out. He's paranoid. This is nothing new. Again, he's been paranoid for quite a while in this game. Winston tries to do damage control but ends up looking more shady. He tells Scottie that he was lying to Sam and that he voted to keep Steve. He's trying to cover up one lie with another lie and another lie. No, it's not going to work. Sam told Scottie that Winston voted to keep her, and Swaggy did not, which is why she voted out Swaggy. Scottie says that this proves that Winston is a liar because Winston told him that he voted to keep Steve. Well, Scottie reveals that to Sam. Sam then went to Winston and told Winston that she told Scottie that Winston saved her and not Steve. Winston is not happy. He starts freaking out. He's paranoid. This is nothing new. Again, he's been paranoid for quite a while in this game. Winston tries to do damage control but ends up looking more shady. He tells Scottie that he was lying to Sam and that he voted to keep Steve. He's trying to cover up one lie with another lie and another lie. No, it's not going to work. Then here comes Brett trying to finesse Scottie by telling Scottie that Haley and Rockstar were in Caitlin's ear and basically they influenced Caitlyn to do all that she did last week. No, honey, that was Tyler, and Scottie already kind of figured out it was Tyler who had a part in that. So really, Brett made the situation worse and showed that he is terrible at this game. And there'll probably be people who will watch this video and say that they don't believe that. But Brett is not that great at this game. Really, the person who is the best at the game so far is Tyler. Because Tyler has all these people fooled, and really, people think they're aware of what he's doing, but at the same time, they find themselves questioning themselves, and he just keeps slipping on through the cracks and popping up and having conversations with people. So, currently, Caitlyn wants an all-girl alliance. Yeah, I know. I'm side-eyeing her, too. I know. No. They can't trust Caitlyn because the whole time that the girls are together, all of a sudden, Tyler will be in her ear, and that'll be the end of that. So the winner of the BB App Store Power app was Bailey. She chose the identity theft power where she can steal the identity of the HOH and secretly make nominations. The crap app loser was Haley. She chose the Read It app. She has to put on a Shakespeare costume and recite Hamlet. Honestly, I'd be happy about that because I was an English major in college, so I don't mind reading stuff, and I took quite a few Shakespeare classes, so I could get through it. I could do it. If Sam doesn't use her power, then it will be offered automatically to the evicted house guest for next week. So Caitlyn thought she was going to get a power app after her big dynamic move of getting rid of Swaggy. I don't know why she thinks she is this legendary Big Brother player. A lot of people are very disappointed in her eviction. I said it before in my other reviews, and I'll say it again. I would have respected her for nominating him if he had actually made a move against her. Really, her reason to nominate him had nothing to do with the game. It was some personal thing that she wanted to accomplish that had nothing to do with the game. It was from something in her life, and she really needed to go to a shrink and talk to that person about that, because Big Brother is neither the time nor the place to be hashing out psychological things and using the house guests to do so. No. And on a side note, Caitlyn no longer has a boyfriend. He pulled his non-disclosure agreement. So every time he's mentioned on the live feeds, the feed switches. And as far as her life coach business, she has a lot of bad reviews, and I'm not sure that it will be present when she leaves the house. In other words, she will have to find something else to do once she's out of the house. Yeah. As for her life coaching business, yeah. That one, I think she's going to have to find something else to do when she finally leaves the Big Brother house. So the consensus of the house is there are 3 powers in play. And Haley reveals to everyone that she has the crap app. Sam reveals to Casey and to Tyler that she can use her special power on herself, or she could save one of the nominees, or it will be automatically given to the evicted house guests for the next week. Sam tells Casey and Tyler because she needs advice on how she's going to use it, and I'm looking at her like, this is your own decision. Like, you don't need advice from anybody else. You just make the decision or you don't. And Tyler sees this as an ace in the hole. Winston wants to lie to Scottie and say that he has a power app. And I believe it was Angela who was side-eyeing him like, why would you say that if you don't have that? And Brett is just like, dude, I want to tell him to calm down. He's saying this to us in the diary room because he's just going to mess everything up, as if Brett didn't mess things up. But Brett thought that he had everything handled. No. Bailey wants to make sure that she's safe this week. She says that she felt like whoever was going to become HOH was going to kick her while she was down. Because you know how it goes with showmances. Sometimes the showmancer is voted out, and the showmancee ends up being voted out the next week or nominated a couple times and then voted out. So that's basically a paraphrased version of what she was referring to. So Scottie tells her that he had a chat with Brett. And Brett tried to finesse him, so he's side-eyeing Brett. So we get to the nomination ceremony, and Scottie nominates Brett and Winston. He nominates Brett because Brett is charismatic, and he nominates Winston knowing that Winston's going to come out after him if he survives the week. Brett and Winston are the strongest relationship in the house at the moment, and in the long run, he feels like he won't be able to beat them. So he wants to make a big move now, and I respect him for doing it. Tyler said that these are the first nominations that aren't in his hands. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Scottie. Brett says that Scottie is an idiot for nominating them, and he drew a line, and whoever's left is coming after Scottie. But they have to win a competition, and neither of them have been able to win competitions. Winston says that if he wins the veto and he takes himself down, he will tell Scottie that he's going home next week when Brett wins HOH. Because the bros have to win the veto. Spoiler alert, they don't. And FYI to Winston, you have to win a competition, and so far Winston has not been winning any competition. Winston has to win some competitions, but as the motto goes in Big Brother, expect the unexpected. So you never know, maybe a competition will pop up, and whoever's left between Brett and Winston will more than likely win that. I don't know. Big Brother is very unpredictable this season. But anyway, guys, I'll be back to review episode number 10 on Wednesday. Episode number 11's review will be late. It will be posted on Friday. And then I'll be back again to review Sunday's episode. And the wheel will go around and around and around. But you all take care. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday night. Bye, guys. Love you all. Bye.